All right, welcome to today's class on Introduction to Business Analysis. So let's talk about this concept of business analysis using case study. I think it's a better way to drive it home. So I'm going to try to bring it home to make it relatable to you. So now the case study we're going to be talking about is foodstuff vendor. So you can call it whatever you want to call it, a foodstuff vendor, African foodstuff vendor, the normal grocery shops around here. Just name it however you want. But just imagine if a grocery shop has presence in Amazon and other shops that where they need to sell their stuff, where they need to gain enough traffic to sell their food. And time over time, they have a whole lot of traffic coming their way. And this traffic, of course, converts to loads of requests, to loads of order from online. They have so much traffic, they have so much order. However, because they are retail shops, the profit margins are usually very small. They are not so big. The profit margins are not so wide, but they make more money through turnover, through consistent turnover from the so many orders they get. And now, one of the biggest challenges they have, because they have the foodstuff owner it's working through a third-party app website to be able to gain this market visibility. Now, remember, this foodstuff vendor is a physical store somewhere, but needs online presence and makes use of website like Amazon to be able to gain visibility. Now, because they do this, when they make, for every sale they make, for every order, Amazon takes their own percentage of every order, and then they get to keep the rest. And of course, when you take away the cost of running the business, the operational cost, and then the charges Amazon will take, that further reduces the profit margin. And here the owner of the business decided to say, okay, we are getting lots of customers. However, our profit is not really showing, it's not really telling the same story. And we have a way to go to come out from this space and still retain our clients and still retain this wonderful flow that we are having. And then the owner of the foodstuff, the grocery shop, decided to, approach an IT company. And then when they approach an IT company, they said, okay, they explain what they want to do in a nutshell, in a summary of what they want to do. And of course, the next thing is they will go ahead and sign a contract. So when a contract is signed, what happens is that the IT company will form a team of developers, cross-functional team of developers, which consists of a project manager or software or Scrum Master. So the PM stands for project manager, SM stands for Scrum Master. Now, there are situations where we have both of them in a company, and there are situations where we just have one. All right, so now they don't do the same thing, but they have, overlapping responsibility. So you understand. All right, so the company decided to form a team of developers and managers. So there we have like the project manager or the SM. So SM stands for Scrum Master, and the Scrum Master is only available in Agile Scrum methodology like we run in PrimeSoft. So then the next person there, the next role is the business analyst. Then we have the developer and the software tester, or we call them quality assurance engineers. Again, I'll take them. So the company decides to form a team that will build this application. And this team will consist of the project manager who will be managing the entire project, or the SM who will oversee everyone in a Agile Scrum environment to ensure that everyone is doing their work. And then we have the business analyst. Then we have the developers who will build, business analysts who will gather requirements and ensure that everything works. The developer the developer or developers, that is like programmers who will develop the applications. And then someone will need to test that this application is working programmatically. And that is a QA, software testers, if you may. And this team was formed by this group, by this IT company, to build this application. And then when they come together, they are able to develop the software, when I mean software, I can use software interchangeably with application, web application, mobile application, any of them. So they develop this software, and when they are done with this development of this software, they test it. And when they are done testing it and they are satisfied, the system goes live. So what does it mean for the system to go live? It means the system, it's launched for production for everyone, for customers to start using. Now, but before these things happen, a lot of things go into place. And this is a typical way a software, a web application, a mobile application is developed by a company, mostly the IT company. This is a typical way they build application. Now, in all these things, where does a business analyst come in? Because I just generally mentioned where a business analyst comes in. Where does a business analyst come in all this? Now, when this idea comes in, the team in the company will have to analyze the situation, but the situation on ground for this grocery store, analyze the number of inflow of clients they have per month, per week, or per day, as the case may be. The revenue the revenue they make from them, and things like returning clients and new clients. Compare the returning client, percentage of returning clients and the new clients. Because if the percentage of returning clients, it's not so much, then it becomes difficult when they move out from Amazon that gives them this wonderful presence online. It becomes difficult for them to find new clients before their application will be seen by a lot of persons. So this team from this IT company will analyze, especially led by the business analyst, will analyze. As a business analyst, you will analyze the situation, and then you will decide if, first of all, this solution that this client wants to build, is it an IT solution or a non-IT solution? Because it doesn't always have to be an IT solution as a business analyst. Truth is, you can be in that situation where you will be building non-IT solutions. Every solution is not just IT. You can also find yourself where you will be anchoring the building of a non-IT solution. So, but in this case, in this context, we are focusing on IT solution. And then when it is established that, okay, this is an IT solution, so the next to become, we analyze if, is it worth investing money on? Because for this company to build this application, the grocery shop, the grocery owner will cough out a huge amount of money. But let's look at the profit you're making. Is it worth investing this huge amount of money? Is it something that, because it's not just building it, there is also the what we call maintenance cost. You're gonna production cost, you're going to pay it. That's one time you do it, and then you're going to pay maintenance cost. Either the company either the IT company continues to maintain it for you, or you hire in-house developers that will continue to maintain it for you. And these things cost you a lot of money. So is it worth it? These are things that will be analyzed by you. Is this worth the investment? If it is not worth it, you will advise that for now, at the level your company is, it's not worth this investment. But if you still want to go in, this is your recommendation. You recommend, okay, from what we have, I don't think this is worth it. But if they want to go on, of course, you want to build application. The company could choose to go ahead with the building of the product. That's also risk they want to take. If it's a risk they are willing to take, then that is fine. So now, if approval is given to build the project, then what really happens? If the approval is given to build the project, this process of doing some analysis, understanding the situation, and deciding if it's an IT or non-IT solution, deciding if this project is worth building, is what we call strategic analysis. So it's called strategic analysis. You go out there, you analyze and find out if this is worth doing and what kind of solution it is. How is it going to benefit the company? You make a thorough strategy analysis about that particular project. That's what that is. And when it is approved that we can build it, we can go ahead and build this project. So as a business analyst, it is not certain that this project will be built. What do? You move to the next stage. And what is the next stage? Requirement gathering sections. You will start the requirement gathering session. So what is this requirement gathering? This is also called requirement elicitation. Requirement elicitation. So what is it about? It's about meeting. It's now a stage where you go and meet the client. And who is this client? The owners of this product the owners of this product is the grocery shop owner or owners. You meet them and then have a section with them. So, and there are different, requirement gathering sections you can have. You can start something as simple as interview, where you ask some open-ended questions, so that the open-ended question will allow them to give you more information. So you ask them some question. It could also be observation, where you go, you observe them make sales, understand how this sales works and the volume of these sales. It could also be another form of interview like survey. You put out survey questionnaire to their customers, that is the client customers, and ask them if they would be happy, to go ahead to buy, to come over instead of buying directly, finding them on Amazon. Are they happy to use their own website and buy? What would they be looking for in their website if they are to build it, or their app if they are to build it? What would they be looking for? These are the kind of questions you ask during requirement gathering. So the first requirement gathering is to understand what you want to build. Understand the business from end to end. What do they essentially do? What kind of business, what kind of groceries do they sell? Who are their customers? If it's things like an African shop, so essentially your target customers are Africans. Who else can also be your customers? So that you will put everyone into perspective. Now, in this requirement gathering session, so like I said, you will understand the problem, the business you want to do, and you do that by meeting the application you want to build. You need to understand the business behind it. Then you do that by having a meeting with the clients to get more details about this application. Now, when you're done with this meeting, having a clear understanding of how this business works, this grocery shop, how it works, when I mean clear understanding, what it is like for somebody to place an order, come to the shop, or go online, place an order, or first of all, go around the shop before they find what they want, place an order, and when they place an order, or when they are done picking what they want to buy, they go, they pay, and they leave. The process of doing all those things, the challenges they meet on the way in trying to do those things, these are things you're going to these are the things you're going to bring into perspective, document when you are gathering requirements. So when you have gotten clear understanding of how the business works, that is the whole generalization of what you're going to do. You're essentially going to find out how the business works. And when you're done getting a clear high level, when we say high level, it means top level overview, an overview of how the business works. When you're done getting that, the next is you come down to your office, to your home if you're working from home, and then you start creating what we call a process map. So a process map is just a model, a diagram, or a flow chart that shows what really happened about the business from the point when a client buys to the point when a client comes in to the point when they do their final checkout. What really happened? How do they do it? How do they perform? What happens in the process of achieving one sales? What happens in the process of achieving one sales? You gather all those requirements. You will then come and draw a process map for it. And when you draw this process map, it is this process map that you will then present to them. With this process map is what you will use to break down to what we call user stories and acceptance criteria. So with this process map, you will start understanding how end to end, how the business works. And then from the beginning, you start documenting the applications. And how do you start? You start with things we call user story and acceptance criteria for every of the projects. So here, when we are building it, we are using what we call features and user stories. So are you with me? Are you with me? All right. So after the process map, here at PrimeSoft, we break down these projects to things with something we call epic. So the epic encapsulates a big chunk of the projects. So look at it from which is your favorite app? Okay, so let me say your banking application. So your epic right now could be something like authentication. So your epic could be like authentication. So what we mean by authentication, it means the process of registering, logging in, resetting password when you forget your password, process of being a member and remaining a member. So we call that authentication and then authorization. So authentication and authorization could be a big picture you want to build, because it's actually a very big part of any application, giving access to people to the app to use the application. That's what we call authentication and authorization. So authentication is the process of registering and logging in. And authorization means now that you have registered, what can we give to you? So for instance, you have registered as a regular bank user. So there is a part, there are things that you're authorized to do. But if you register like something like you have a higher subscription pattern in your bank, then you're given more access to do things. So that ability to give you access to do things based on the customer tier you belong to, the level of customer you belong to, is called authorization. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Good. So now that's a big chunk. So that authentication and authorization can be your epic after you have built your process map. So you start with authentication. Somebody needs to come in before they will, start. Somebody need to be a customer before they can, check out properly. It's up to you. So if you say they need to be a customer, then you start building that authentication and authorization. That authentication and authorization can be your epic. So your epic is authentication and authorization, just one word. Now your features can be two. You can have two features inside this epic. And can you guess what they are?
No features.
So you can have two features in this epic. The epic is authentication slash
And
authorization.
authorization. Yeah.
So features are broken down into smaller chunks under epics. So what will be the features now? What do you guess what you think should be the feature?
You know, to the authentication and authorization.
Good. One will be authentication, the other one will be authorization.
Authorization.
Does that make
Okay.
sense?
Yeah.
Excellent. So under each feature, so we have it like, um, let me use this. So we have it like this. We have the feature, the epic, so epic has another level called feature. So feature is under epic. And then under feature, we have user stories. So in Azure DevOps, we call them PBIs.
Mm.
PBIs. And what's the meaning of PBIs? Products,
Log. Okay.
products,
Padlock. I be backlog.
yes, backlog,
In sense of being the backlog in sense of what.
items.
The backlog items.
So, and it's these product backlog items that you call your story, it's inside them that you write your stories. So I could call them epic, feature, and user stories. Or you can call them epic, feature, and PBI. Now, this pattern is used in Azure DevOps. Are you with me? This style is used in
Yeah.
Azure DevOps. But the most popular one, which is like about the, I don't know, but I'm sure it's about the most popular one, which is Jira. Jira is a very popular one. So in Jira, Jira is like Azure DevOps. In Jira, I think what we have is Epic.
Wiki. Is that where we have wiki or something?
We have what?
Is that where we also have wiki or something?
So in Wiki, I think for Wiki, we have it in Azure DevOps.
Yeah.
In in Jira, we have Confluence.
Mhm.
Let these things not confuse you because they belong to it's what they have, what the company choose to call their application that they will call it. How they, however the company choose to name it, that's how they will name it. Does that make
Mhm.
sense?
Yeah.
So for Jira, Jira has epics, and the next thing they have is issues. So issues represent features and product backlog item. That's what for Jira, that's what it means. So everything in Jira is issue. So when you hear issue, it's not like a problem, it's like a task to solve.
Yeah.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
So it's from this process map that you come and you break down, and we say this will be the authentication and authorization. So, and then inside, this is just one epic. Can you see? One epic. And then inside feature, because the feature will be under epic, inside the feature, we break it down to auth, authentication. That's one feature. The next feature is authorization. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Now, now when you're done with that, you can then pick the first one, authentication, and then break it down to things like login, because that's authentication, logout, forgot password. I'll just abbreviate it. Forgot password or reset password. And what else again do we do that? So let's call it this way. So then authorization, we can just have access. So for authorization, we have like access to different level. So authorization is quite big because that's what will give you access to different tiers of subscription you have. Now, each of these will be, so each of these will be a story. Can you see? This will be
Mm.
stories. So right now we have like about 4 stories, but it's actually going to be more than this. So can you see from one word called epic, we broke it down to two features, authorization and authentication. And then from these 2 features, you're able to break them down to 4 PBIs. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So, and that's what you do. Now, when you are done breaking these things down, you start writing your stories. Because these things represent what you want to build. Then you start writing your story.
Mm.
Each of them, you will write a user story. You start write a user story for each of them. You write acceptance criteria. Some people call it AC. That's for each PBI. Please take notes. And that's not enough. Acceptance criteria. Now, these are just statements. These are just stories. They are tests. Because this is test that tells you that you're going to build this, and this is how to build it. Are you with me? This
Yeah.
is what to build. User story is what you want to build. And acceptance criteria is these are things I want to see when you're done building it. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Good. But these are just statements. They are just tests. So to make it come alive, that thing you envisage how you want it to be, for instance, login, you would then go and build a simple login interface. Where this is, it depends on you. You can say you say this is username and this is password. And then we have the submit button here. And this is where this is called mockup. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
This is called mockup. You write a user story, you write acceptance criteria, you design a simple mockup to further explain what you have done. So that when developers and QAs come in, they will say, okay, this user story and acceptance criteria is a bit confusing. Then they will come, you show them the mockup. This is what I mean. So if they have any question with the mockup, they will be able to ask more questions and it will become much more clearer. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Excellent. So what is prototype? When you are done building all your mockups for the authentication and authorization, the prototype means you will link them together so that when somebody clicks on it, it takes them. So when I come, I don't need to type anything. When I click on submit, it takes me to where I want to be, like the page I'm supposed to be, assuming this has been built. That is called prototyping.
Yeah.
And you will learn all these things. Are you with me? You're going to learn hands-on all these things. So be ready. And when you're done with this, prototyping, you need to document every bit of it. You need to document every bit of it, and you document it in what we call software requirement function. Okay, I will use this one, business requirement documents.
Okay.
Yes. So you document it in a particular and in a document so that anyone can come see what you have done. It's not just writing a new thing. Everything you have done here is part of the document. The process map is part of the documents, your user stories, the mockups, they are part of the documents. And then you're going to have a much more comprehensive document where you bring everything and explain everything about the application. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So when you are done with this, the next part of after user story, the next thing you're going to do, the next function you're going to do in the software development lifecycle, I'm sure you have heard of it, SDLC, software development lifecycle. We have a video on it on YouTube. The next function you're going to do there is called performing functional testing and UAT. UAT stands for user acceptance tests.
Okay.
User acceptance tests. So functional testing is to say, okay, is this doing what it's supposed to do? Just the functions, are they doing what they're supposed to do? Now, user acceptance testing is the user, it's given the opportunity to test the application. So the UAT can be done in-house. You bring in 3 to 4 persons in a room and you tell them to test the application, and they will test and they will tell you some things that are wrong and some things that are right. And then you will pick it up and see the one you and see what you're going to do to improve those things they told you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
When they are done testing it and they are happy, next level is go live. You publish,
Okay.
you deploy
Like
your
that.
application,
Mm.
and everyone will start using it.
Okay.
So you can see in this process, you are going to gather requirements, doc, build process map,
Alright. So if I
document.
may ask,
Yes.
what stage would they have gotten to, like before they know that okay, let's say now, would it possible they've gotten to the testing part before they now find out that okay, this thing is not okay, let's do something different, or they could have gotten to a particular stage before them finding out. I don't know if you get my question.
So what really happens is, remember we have in this thing we are building, in this
Mm.
application, we have you, the BA,
Mhm.
who gathers the requirements, then write the story. We have the developer who picks up your story
Mhm.
and develop the application. The
Okay.
first level of testing is not done by you. It's done by the
Okay.
QA who will pick up what the developer has built.
Like that's the quality assurance of the
Yes, or software
okay.
tester.
Yes, that's okay.
Pick up what the developer has built and test it using codes or do manual testing. Manual testing, you don't need code, but they're going to test it based on how the user, how based on the acceptance criteria. We're going to test it based on the acceptance criteria. Does it meet it? If it meets it, excellent. The QA will pass it to
Okay.
you,
Okay.
the BA.
Okay.
Again, can you see how you start and complete
Mhm.
the cycle?
Yeah.
And that is why on that board that we drag and front and back, you own the board.
Mm.
The BA owns the board. Product backlog items, it's owned by the BA. It is yours.
Mm.
So you are the one to ensure that this thing we are building is up to standard functionally and industries and up to the industry standard, and everything works. It is you that is in charge of making everything work. That is why you're the one who started the requirement gathering, and you're the one who you're the one who say how it should be, and you're the one testing whether it is what you said it to be.
Okay.
And then you're performing this test with some people like customers, the product sponsors, or
Okay.
any other stakeholder who has interest in the application. You test it, and when they test it and they're happy, you go live. So
Okay.
when are they going to say, okay, what we have done is not what we did is not what we told you to do,
Yeah.
what is not what you did.
Yeah.
All right, so when is that? Remember your required your elicited requirement. So most
Mm.
times when you have done this mock-up, first of all, when you have done this, you show it to the project sponsor, the owner of the
Okay.
project. And the owner of the project would say, okay, yeah, this is how our business run, essentially. Does that
Okay.
make sense?
Yeah.
And then the next one is here. When you're done building the entire mock-up for that particular application, you also show it to the owner of the business, the owner of the application.
The product owners.
Yes, the project sponsor. Are you happy with this? This is a mock-up of what we're going
Wait,
to do.
are they different between the project owner, the product owner and the project sponsors?
Yeah, they are different things. I'm going to come here.
Okay.
So, so you go and show this to your project sponsor and they say, I am happy with it. Then you will then start building. You don't just start building. You need to show them. So at
Yes.
this point, this is where we avoid those issues. When they say in terms of design, when they say they are happy with this prototype mock-up, they are
Mm-hmm.
not changing it.
Mm-hmm.
So now that's where we have another person called the UI UX. So you can leave your job at the level of mockup. But a UI UX will go far and design the interface, make it look like the way it
So
will look
what's the
when
meaning
it's
of the UI?
UI is user interface. That
Okay.
is what you see when you go to a website.
Okay.
Then UX is the user experience, the experience you get when you use an application. And
Okay.
UX is not just an application, it's everywhere. So the user experience, you can also be that person who ensure UI UX. Beyond
Okay.
UI UX can be part of your job. Are you with me? Ensuring that
Yeah.
people who are using this application gain the utmost experience they want. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So the UI, when you're done designing this, you show it to the owner. If they're happy, then you start building. So there is no, you won't have that case of saying this is not what we say we will build.
Once.
As long as it's performing the function, it is what
Okay.
we say we will build. What will happen is, okay, we have something working. Let us go and make it better.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So it also means by the time you have gone into you have committed the earth and earth into sprint, nobody's changing it until you're done building. So nobody will come halfway and change it until you're done building. When you're done building, they will remember you're just building bit by bit because we are working in an agile methodology, agile environment. Agile environment is that you build a little, you build the smallest part of it and improve as we go. Are you with me?
Yeah.
So we quickly build, show it to the owner is happy, then we move on and push it to the market and then start making it better. That's the whole idea. Now let's come to product owner. So in a company, there could be a PO, a BA and a PO. And when there is a BA and a PO, the BA is under the PO. So that's like the person you report to, product owner. And then this person will be we go and discuss with the project sponsor. Product owner is owned by the IT company. It works around the IT company. It's a position called that that acts as if he is the owner of the project inside the company.
But sorry, if I may ask, I think the product owner are also like the CEOs, like the owners of the company. Are they not?
No, they are not. CEOs, product owners are not the owners of. So these terminologies are things used around the agile Scrum methodology. It doesn't have anything to do with executive, how the company is run. So this is just the software development lifecycle name or positions. So this product owner is like, okay, I know the owner of the project is outside, but I am internally, I am acting as the owner of the project. So everything, so you are everything you're building, you report to this person. But not all companies has BA and PO. So most companies will have just one person to serve as BA and PO. So in this situation, if you are the only person there, you will go directly to the owner of the project, which is a standard stakeholder. Make sense?
Sorry, I'm confused between the product owner and product sponsor, the project sponsors.
This project sponsor is that the grocery owner outside who wants to build the application. Are you with me?
Okay.
Who
Yeah.
brought the business? Person that brought the business is the project sponsor. Now, The product owner is that. Now, project sponsor is external stakeholder. Now, product owner is an internal stakeholder who acts on behalf of this person inside the company, ensuring that everything this owner, this external person says is implemented. That's the product owner.
So it
Now,
means to say, sorry, the product sponsors are internal, while sorry, are external, while the project owner are internal.
while the
Yes, that
product
makes
owner is called product owner,
sense.
are
Product
internal.
owner, sorry, are internal. Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
every product owner is internal.
Okay.
So, but most times you can find a company where we have BA and PO, and you can find a company where we just have one person that will act in both positions. If you have one person, if we have um these two positions, the work becomes lighter for the BA. But if it's just one position, the BA will do a lot of work, and that is usually one position. So
Okay.
when there is only one position, which is BA, you will be the one that will go straight and elicit requirement from the project sponsor, the external stakeholder. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
All right, so this is it in a nutshell, the things you will do. So I said I would, do you have any question here? I said I would prefer to use illustration to explain the concept. Do you have any question here?
No, 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 I'm fine for now.
All right. So now who is a business analyst? According to IBA, so a business analyst business analysis is a practice of enabling change in an organizational context by defining needs and recommending solutions that deliver value to stakeholders. Take note of the things that are there. Take note of what I put, what is there. You are the one that enable change. So you are the change agent. You are the one that define needs. The company needs this. I think we need this. You are the one that will make recommendation of the solution the company needs. Because the whole idea is to give value to both the internal stakeholder and the external stakeholder. And who is a stakeholder? Anyone who has interest in the business is a stakeholder. Both you, the developer, the software tester, everyone that is part of that application you're building is a stakeholder. Now, can you see that what you do is not just enabling the building of application? You are enabling change. So you're a change agent. And that is why when you go to job interview, you hear about some job interview say a knowledge of an experience as a change manager or change management. So you enable change. And change is not easy in a company, trust me. It is not easy in a company at all. So you are the change enabler. So take note of that. And you will be doing a lot of those things. So going to make a lot of research in PrimeSoft and make recommendation of how the company needs to move on, become better, and compete with others. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Do you have any question here?
No.